It's your open source advocate, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm going to be covering some more low power hardware. Now, it's been on my list for 2024 to make sure that I get my home lab down to a really nice low power environment. I was running some really big Dell PowerEdge servers that use a massive amount of power, and I run my home lab 24/7, so I've been trying to move everything over to lower power hardware. I was contacted by Geekom and they asked me to look at their AE7. So I'm pretty excited to do this because it looks like some pretty decent hardware. I'm pretty thrilled about being able to do this. As always, I want to be completely transparent. Whenever I review hardware, one, it has to be hardware that I feel like is going to be something you guys would be interested in for your home labs or for your setups, even for your businesses. Two, it has to be able to run open source operating systems and software. Absolutely a must for me if I'm going to review anything. So this is part of the agreement that I have with these companies before they ever send me hardware. Now, I don't intend to do tons and tons of hardware reviews. It's not really my space. My space is open source software, and that's my passion and what I love. But this year, since my goal is to get down to a lower power system all around, I'm checking out the hardware that people are offering me that has low power capabilities because it really is intriguing to me, and I want to make sure that I'm finding something I like, but also providing you guys with some information on things that you might enjoy as well. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and all of my patrons over at Patreon. Seriously, you guys make this so worth it for me to do these videos every week. I really, truly enjoy it, and I just can't say thank you enough. If you're enjoying these videos, subscribe. Let YouTube know that I'm doing a good job by subscribing to the channel. Plus, you'll get notified when I have new videos coming out. And finally, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, give it a like. Just click on that thumbs up, and that way YouTube knows that you like it, and they'll pass it along to other people that might enjoy my content as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Let's get started. All right, it's always important to have a nice little pocket knife. So this is a cheap little guy that I got years ago, but it works really well usually, and especially for opening up boxes with plastic wrap on them. So cut the plastic wrap away, peel it off, really simple. So I'm just gonna pull the lid up here. Again, really nice. I like the way these guys are doing this foam insert that really holds the piece of hardware here. Pretty nice. It makes it easy to get it out. Now, immediately, if you remember my review that I did a couple of weeks ago on the K100 NAS that's for all SSD, this is about the same size palm-wise. So here it is in the palm of my hand, but it's definitely taller, like this way. It's definitely taller this way. But the packaging is pretty nice. I love the little foam inserts. That makes it stay really nice, and it's really great for if you have to pack it up and move, like I'm going to have to do here in a few weeks. We got some details there, and then you've got a pretty nice, and maybe the same people that make these boxes, I don't know. So here's a power brick and the associated cord that goes with it. So here's the piece that plugs into the wall for that power brick, and then here is a cable that we need for HDMI. That's nice to have in the box. Got some extra screws here, so that's nice. Instruction manual, awesome. And mounting plate. So this is actually a machine that can be set up to be mounted on the back of a VESA mount. So you can actually mount this to the back of your monitor, have it completely hidden, really tie up your cables nicely, and then you just have like a basic power cable going down to the wall or something. So very nice, makes it nice and clean to be able to do that. Looks like you could also wall mount it, so interesting. But yeah, very cool. That's everything in the box. Okay, so I've been messing with this for about 60 seconds. I guess I'm slow, but there we go. The way they folded this around, I mean, I see what they did now, but man, right at first, I could not figure out how that was wrapped around it. That was kind of crazy. All right, so when we look at this thing, if you just look at the top here, it's got a pretty nice, pretty minimal labeling on it. So it's very, very clean that way. I think this is all plastic. I don't think there's much metal here, but when you look at the front, you've got two USB-A ports. You've got an audio jack, which is nice. That's not something you get on a lot of machines these days. Of course, you got the power button right here. When you look on this side, you've got some venting, and then you've got a little lock here so you could lock it to your desk or the machine you're mounting it to or whatever. Once you get to the back, again, you've got some venting, so there's going to be some fans. It's got to keep the system cool. I mean, it's a pretty small package no matter how you look at it. We've got our barrel jack connector. We've got 2 HDMI ports, which is pretty nice. We've got our Ethernet connection, and then we've got some USB Type-C ports, and then 2 USB Type-A ports. So really a lot of connectivity on this thing. And then over here on the side, you've got your SD card slot, it looks like. So yeah, you've got quite a bit of connectivity here. Really pretty nice setup, pretty nice system. Very small, very compact as usual. We've got some rubber feet, and it looks like the screws are right there exposed inside of the rubber feet, which is nice. So you could take this apart pretty easily and probably upgrade it a little bit, but we'll take a look inside of it and see what it looks like as well. There's some plastic on the top here as well, so this always peels off. I'm going to leave it for now. It's not hurting anything, but it's definitely something you'd want to peel off once you got one. So this is pretty nice. Not a bad little package. This is really everything that's there. Let's get this thing set up and put an operating system on it. It probably comes with Windows. I honestly don't even want to let it start with Windows because I wouldn't be able to record the screen for you unless I hooked it up to my network. And yeah, I don't hook up Windows machines to my network. So let's get something else put on it. So I've been using this machine for a few weeks now. It's top notch. I gotta say the AE7 is a pretty nice machine. It is just really so small, and it just has so much going for it. It's fast. I mean, it makes me, when I sit down on my other machines, it makes me kind of go, why are these so slow? The graphics capabilities of it, for it being especially a mini PC, are really impressive. I've been playing lots of games. I've been playing a lot of Shadow of Tomb Raider, and another one I found called Ground Branch. It just things to try to test it out, and the graphics are absolutely incredible. I think, honestly, it's probably one of the best machines I've ever had graphics-wise. I've been doing my video editing on it, and just rendering the video is super fast. It's really great. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a terrific machine. Now, if you're not looking for something with incredible graphics power, I think the other really nice piece about it is that I'm able to run my own local AI on it. I've got a video about that, and this is what I'm running it on. Literally running it on this machine. It's not me connecting to another server. It's me running it on this machine, and it gives me back answers very quickly. It's really impressive because I did run the same setup back when I was running that Dell PowerEdge server, and I set it up on a virtual machine, and it was painfully slow. Like, I would ask it a question, and it would take, like, you know, it would print a word and then several seconds, and then print a word and then several seconds, and then print a word. So if you were going to have a conversation, it was going to be a real long conversation. And this so far has just been absolutely terrific. I mean, you can see, even with me recording right now, it's barely using anything on the CPU. You know, memory, of course, is very low usage. Network, I mean, it's just doing little things on my network because it's running Nextcloud and a few other things like that. I mean, just, yeah, really, you can tell it's just not doing a ton right now. Now, if I go spin up something like, you know, Steam and get it running where it's running a game, of course, those things are going to change to some extent. But again, it uses a lot of the GPU power to do that. Yeah, I just super impressed with this machine. It's one that I'm going to buy. I'm 100% headed out there to buy it. So yeah, I mean, this thing is pretty great, and it's got the Ryzen 9. It's pretty fast. You know, it's just crazy how good the graphics are, honestly. So you can see here it says $699, but then it says $664, so I'm not really sure, but I feel like this is a little bit brighter, so maybe this is the kind of discount, like current price. I'm going to have a discount code for it for you guys to get as well, so I'm pretty excited about that because they're helping you guys get it a little bit of a discount. I think it's a 5% discount, but every penny counts, right? I mean, that's pretty great. So yeah, you can see here what it's got. So it's got the M.2, so you can switch out the drive that comes in it for your own SSD if you want to. And then, of course, it's got the AMD Ryzen 9 in it, and then it's got the extra graphics on it that really have just made the performance absolutely incredible. You should also recognize that there's an AE8 as well, so you can go check that one out, but the AE7 is pretty new. It's got some pretty great specs, so kind of up to you whether you want to go see the other one or not. But the AE7, man, I mean, if you're looking for a mini PC, if you're looking for something to get low power out of and really just see a boom in performance from your systems, I think this is a top-notch option. I mean, just really and truly, this has been so great. It's one of those machines that I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to connect it to an external storage device that I've got, and I'm going to go through a video for that for you guys as well, so you can kind of see how those perform and how they stand up. Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to buy this because it's just hands down one of the best systems at my house right now. It is absolutely just blowing out away everything else. So I've got the game up and running here. I've gone through it just a little bit, and we're just going to see how it runs. So I'm going to run and jump and hold on. There we go. We got to scale this way.
I want the site secured ASAP. When Dr. Dominguez arrives, we all go in together.
Let's see. Okay. I am going. Okay, don't fall, don't fall. Okay, now I gotta get over there. So let's go. Oh my god, I run the wrong way. Okay, X, X, X. Okay. Good. Now, where in the heck am I supposed to go? Oh, here's a ledge. Okay. Cool. So, yep. Okay. Oh, okay.
All units, get ready.
Okay.
Dr. Dominguez.
Okay.
What is this place?
Oh, I remember this freaking place. Ugh. Okay, let's see. The left stick. Just went faster. Okay. There's got to be something down here. Let's find out. Yeah. X. Oh, yay. Okay. This game makes you feel stressed out. Alright, so you guys have seen the gameplay. There we go. It's back into a movie scene. But it does pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with this thing. So I want to show the power consumption of the AE7 real quick. And it's not on right now. It's just plugged into this thing, but it's still using like 1.5 watts of power. I'm not really sure how that is happening. But let me unplug it and just show you that it's 0 when it's not plugged in. So you can see when it's not plugged in, it goes to 0. So I've plugged it back in. It's not on yet, but it's, as you can see, it's sitting. It kind of pulls 1 watt. I don't know what it's doing exactly. That's kind of weird that it's pulling power. But if I turn it on, you should see it kind of go through its boot up process. So there it jumped up about 36 watts at a peak. Going through its boot up process now. And it's booted. So it settles back to about 6.5, almost 7 watts, but that's super low compared to 450, 750, 1,000 watts. All right, I've logged it in so you can see again it peaks up. It's hit around 50 watts there. Just trying to get all the systems and things started that it uses. And then again, it settles back down. So I'm waiting on Steam to start up. I don't know if it's normal, but on this machine, for whatever reason, when you hit Steam, it just really takes it a minute to actually kind of come up on the screen. But you can see there that it's doing something because it's pulling wattage. It just doesn't identify that it's doing something here on the actual screen until Steam just finally comes up. But it takes, I mean, a solid 30 seconds. I don't know why that is. It's kind of weird. You'd think it would start faster, but it does start up like a helper that stays up in the task manager, taskbar after it does that. So definitely it's odd. All right, Steam has started up. It loaded up a few things. That's where you saw it go up to about 40 watts. And so now Steam is running. I'm not running a game yet, but you can see it's kind of settling around 14 or 15 watts. So it's definitely probably utilizing the GPU a little bit, just even sitting there, but you can see it's kind of moving down slowly. So it may be preloading some things to make the games try to load up a little faster. I'm not sure how it all works, but there you can see it's starting to settle down to around 9 or 8 watts. So whenever it launches this stuff, it checks for all the shading. So you can see there it's about 68, 70 watts of power that it's using while it's trying to launch a game. So it's starting up Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And it's doing all of the stuff that it needs to do, I guess, for the graphics. Something that says you could skip, but I just let it run every time. But you can see it does ramp up a bit on watts. I can hear the fans spinning up a little bit as it does all that as well. So definitely using the GPU for that. And the game has started. And it's settling back to about 17 watts. So once it does all that, it kind of settles back down. So I'm going to click on play. And there you can see it ramps back up. So right now we're hitting around 85 watts. That's with the game actually running. And again, just not even playing it. I'm just letting it sit there on the title screen. So yeah, we're hitting around 80 or 85 watts while it's running, something like that. So again, just depending on what you're doing with it, it's going to depend on what it's using for graphics card and for how much it's ramping up, how much it's using CPU-wise, memory-wise, everything like that. You're definitely going to get some different watt output. So I quit out of the game and I closed Steam up to the task manager, and you can see it settles back to about 10 to 12 watts. And right now I've got the little local AI Olama server up and running. I'm going to ask it a question and we'll see if we can tell how much power it uses to answer that question. All right, so it's working on an answer, and you can see it's jumped up there to about 30 watts, 86 watts to actually print out the answer. And it's already done. It's still sitting up around 75 watts, and then it drops. So yeah, running AI uses some power as well, but once you're done with the question and the conversation, it does drop back down. So it's not like it's sitting there constantly running at 80 watts. It's just when you ask a question, it's trying to build up the answer for you. It definitely ramps up the power. And again, probably using the GPU to do that. So just be aware. I mean, it's not always just going to sit around 6 or 7 watts, but if it's sitting idle quite a bit, you're definitely going to see savings on power usage. So pretty great. I think this is an awesome machine. All right, as promised, we're going to take this thing apart, see what it makes it tick inside. Hopefully it's got some parts that could be upgraded and adjusted. I think that'd be awesome. So we're just going to flip this over. And if you look here on the bottom, we've got screws inside of the feet holes here. And they look to be just regular Phillips head screws. I've got my handy dandy toolkit over here. Let's give it a shot and see how it does. So yeah, fit right in there. I can turn it. Now, are these captive screws, or are they gonna come out? I'm not sure. Let's do the next one and see if it goes any further. Okay, I used a little bit of pressure here to pull. So I'm gonna be very careful because I don't want to rip a ribbon cable or something on this. There we go. So we'll just flip that over, and if you look, it's just got a, we'll flip this around right here, so it's got a nice cooling pad there for the solid state NVMe drive right there. And then we've got RAM over on this side that is absolutely replaceable, so that's awesome. If we look in here, you can see the solid state drive, so you could definitely take that out, switch that out for an NVMe of your choice. The RAM here, you could definitely take out and switch out as well. Oh yeah, so this is 32 gigs right now, so we've got two 16 gig chips here for our RAM, and then we've got the SSD up here that it came with. So it's 32 gigs. We could probably go to 64. I don't know if it'll go to 128 or not, but it is upgradable, which is pretty nice. So I really like that they've made it pretty easy to open and then pretty easy to see what's inside. So this is literally upside down. So here's the front. And when you look at the top of it, it's got these nice captive screws that keep them where they're supposed to be. And then it's got this little arrow. It's kind of covered by a sticker, but if you can see it right here, it says front. So we know that this is the way that it goes back on. And if you look at this pad, it's going to line up with the SSD down there. And then if you line this back up to go back into place, it should just fit down inside the case there. And it does. It's pretty level. We just take our screwdriver and we can start driving these screws back down. This is a nice little machine. I really like this Geekom machine. This is a great little machine. I'm very impressed with it. So yeah, that's the insides of the machine there, and it is upgradable from the standpoint of upgrading your RAM and putting in a larger SSD NVMe drive if you want it. One thing I noticed about the AE7 is that it says it has Bluetooth. I am not able to get Bluetooth to function on this version of Ubuntu, which is Ubuntu 24.04, so it should have the latest available drivers for Bluetooth. It does have Wi-Fi, and that works fine, but it says it has Bluetooth 5.2. I can't get Bluetooth to work on this. It doesn't even seem to think it's installed on it, so I've tried, and you know, when I do this, it just turns back off on its own no matter what I do. So it doesn't seem to think it's there, and because I don't run it with Windows and immediately I got rid of Windows and put Linux on this machine, I can't say whether it works on Windows or not. It could be a bad Bluetooth card, but I imagine it's just a driver issue. So be aware of that. If you're going to run this with Linux, there may be Linux versions out there that have the Bluetooth capability and drivers working. For whatever reason, the Ubuntu 24.04 does not seem to have support for Bluetooth right now. So be aware of that as you're going out there and kind of installing other operating systems. If Bluetooth is a big deal for you for this machine, that could be something that might cause an issue. That's the Geekom AE7. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you get a lot out of it. As I said, I think this is a really terrific little mini PC. There are tons of them out there to choose from. Definitely go do your research, but if you're thinking about getting one that's got some great power, a pretty decent graphics unit inside of it, and a not bad price, I would definitely recommend checking out the Geekom AE7. I think this is a really, really nice unit. I hope you guys get a lot out of this. If you did, please like, subscribe, tell your friends about it so they can come along in the open source journey with us, and I'll talk to you next time.